Order! Order! Welcome to the Parliament last debate before we have to move out here due to construction work added in this Parliament. So the meetings and discussions will be held by the President will announce an address throughout the 4 months since we'll be out of this Parliament due to construction. Today we are going to discuss on the last Parliament meeting here today before we leave out of this Parliament, and we are going to talk about the border control and also terrorism fears in this nation. So Scott Drake, the President, please speak your word in this Parliament. Thank you, Your Honour. Today I want to discuss about how we can change on border control in this nation. We've been seeing probably 20 years of border control not done as proper and efficient in most of countries across the world, including having terrorism in Australia in 2004, terrorism in Germany in 2011, not even looking at what weapons they have when they enter the nation. And this has been a lackluster from, most of once a lifetime. We never had this issue. But I thought I'd mention here today, how can we secure the policy on people entering our nation? I know that I am new in this role, and I've been here for the last 3 months as the president of this nation. But talking about how can we change the way we control the borders, not preventing terrorisms happening in this beautiful nation. Thank you very much there, Mr. President. We're going to speak to the leader of the policy party, Drew Gulak. Thank you, Your Honour. You see, I want to discuss with the President, why haven't we done this for the last 4 years back or 5 years beforehand? We should have had this policy happening far back since 2015 when this party was founded. But the thing is, since the president of the RSV, Scott Drake, and even also Donald Trump as well, and even before that as well with Thomas Rogers, we didn't discuss how we can control this border on preventing terrorism. Well, we never had much terrorism in this nation, for good Lord. But at the same time, we need to really be tight on how and who will come in and enter this nation. Because there's also nations in Africa, nations in the southern of Brazil and Argentina, having cocaine, travelling across one country to the other. Well, obviously, we're not had this here because we are not in that category. But I want to say to the president right now, why didn't the other party did not put this as a policy long time ago in 2015 before this policy party that I am the leader at was actually formed? That's the question there, Republican Party. Mr. Gulak, all due respect with your policy party, I know you have pride with your party and the passion as the leader of the policy party. But let me discuss this right now. I've only been the president of this nation for at least 3 months. So why are you blaming on to me and our party? We've been through a lot for the last, let's say, 2 years, with having Trump as the president and also with me, the transition towards me as the president. It's negativity, I think, Drew Gulak, you're saying right now. I don't think you're even saying it legitimately. I understand in 2015 the policy party was formed and whatnot. But the thing is, we had a lot of discussions, the other party leaders. Ask them. Ask Conor O'Kane. Ask Thomas Rogers. Ask Trump. Why ask me? You see, I might be the leader of the Republican Party, but I'll say this question to you right now. We will make sure that we really, really shut down the borders on the best we possibly can. We're going to make sure we close things down. We're going to make sure that things are closed for people who enter the nation with weapons. We have to make sure that who has what. It could be drugs. It could be anything. Anything to do with that, we will have to knuckle down and arrest them. And that's how we're going to go forward by. But this will take a process, Gulak, just to let you know. But I appreciate your question right there for the leader of the policy party. But we're going to start that policy by having it done very, 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 very slowly. I know it might be wrong, but slowly and a process, because I did say our nation will be as the best after the recovery, after what happened, what Trump did to our nation. It will take at least a year to recover. So be patient, it will happen, and that's all I've got to say. And that was that, of course, there from Scott Drake to discuss your question, Mr. Gulak. But now let's go to the leader of the Stop Trump campaign, Joe Biden, on this discussion on how to tackle the border control on terrorism. Mr. Biden? Thank you, Your Honour. Mr. President, I want to say one thing before we can't discuss our point of views in this Parliament for the next 4 months due to construction work taking place in this Parliament. So, Mr. President, I want to discuss about how can we support the Russian people in terms of what happened on the impact they've been through for the last, let's say, 12 months on having our nation threatening them on a war. And also related to terrorism as well, that's what I want to get into as well. Even as well on the border control from the Russian people entering our nation. They probably want to come here and set revenge to our Republican people. And not just our Republican people, but our Republican monuments across the nation. Like statues we are proud of for 100 years. Buildings could be destroyed by the Russian people. For example, it could be on revenge, an attack as revenge plot for what Trump did. What can we do to support the Russian people and having them even not having set in revenge against our nation on damaging our history after the damage what Trump caused when he was president before? So, Mr. President, please discuss that right now, please. I appreciate your question, Mr. Biden. And I know Mr. Biden and his party have been very supportive with my party, of course, since I ran this country in February. Your question, you said about how can we support the Russians, even their mind could be set on setting revenge on our nation, of course. So my plan will probably be is that we have to build a relationship. We have to earn that relationship against Russia. And I know that Trump damaged our nation very, very poorly, of course, last year and trying to make us go to war against the Russian people. In World War III could have happened, but it didn't happen at the end of the day. I think we have to really, really set a goal. What can we do now going forward as me as a leader? How can we have that relationship once more with the Russian people? And how can we apologise and even try and make them be on our side? It'll be a long, long journey. I said this before in my first Parliament meeting that we are going to have a big process on how to build back as a good nation, not a nation that people think that everyone all hates us, and it does feel that way. I think in terms of border control in that respect, so as we probably all know, that I even set out even in the start of the presidency when I run this nation, that Russia travel will be banned as due to safety reasons. If things get better, and things are even superbly better, going forward between the Russian government and our government, then we could even ease our ban against Russia and open the rights to go and travel there, one fly back to the other. But since it's all been controversial and we've got to recover from this effect on people's livelihoods and whatnot against two nations conflicts, I think we have to build it in a different way. but it will take time. But I think banning it would be something that we'll have to approach, and we will all support that. Since I even run this nation in February, that was my first thing to do privately, and I think that that's something that I want to say right now in this parliament, and I think that that is something that we've done, and hopefully we could continue this until we do build up better against them as a trade relationship, perhaps. We've got to wait and see. Order, order! Time is up right here in the Parliament. I know this will be a sad time, as we won't be in this Parliament even discussing our point of views against three different parties in this government. But all I'd say is right now is that we will be building back together, and I hope that the president will do that and address that throughout the 4 months, since we won't be in this very room right now discussing our point of views. So the Parliament meeting has been dismissed.